Good morning. Getting rich fast with Bitcoin is incredibly simple. Max Kaiser is predicting a $500,000 Bitcoin to happen on some extremely bad news. A massive catalyst could unleash a huge $114 trillion bombshell. And Satoshi and some email leaks may have been uncovered. Here's the news with the fast facts. Let's play this video straight away with Max and Crypto.
People in South Africa, you have your rand, right? That's going to zero. That's going to zero. This is going to zero too. Euros are going to zero. The yen's going to zero. The Chinese currency is going to zero. It's all going to zero against Bitcoin. If you don't understand that yet, you're going to be impoverished. You're going to be on the street. You're going to be begging. You're going to be out of business. You're going to be toast.
Max, do you know that it's a criminal offense to tear up?
Do you know that with the Bitcoin I have, I can buy any freaking senator or congressman I want? I make the laws. He who has the Bitcoin makes the laws, Rand. We're not going to just sit around and let the goddamn congressman tell us what to do. We've got the capital. We make the laws. We've got the Bitcoin. They don't. We got it. They don't. Do you understand?
It's all going to zero against Bitcoin. Max, he is one of the most bullish Bitcoiners. Obviously, he is involved in El Salvador in a very high level ways. So he knows a little bit what he's talking about. We'll get a little bit more bullish tweets out from Max over the last couple of weeks. The global fiat money apocalypse is upon us, ultimate safe haven. Bitcoin is going to $500,000. This is Max posting the bruised by stock market. Chinese Russian to ban Bitcoin. That's by Reuters there. Max Kaiser again. The fiat money apocalypse is upon us. Stocks are poised for a 1987-like crash. Bitcoin, the ultimate global safe haven, will soar to $500,000. We'll dive into this in this news article here. So this is Max calling. Predicts a new major record for Bitcoin in near future based on current state of the stock market. This is what Max has to say. So listen to this. Vocal Bitcoin advocate and financial journalist Max Kaiser has published an ultra bullish post about Bitcoin, predicting that the Bitcoin price is likely to soar past $500,000. Kaiser believes this is possible since he also predicts a major crash for the US stock market not seen since the end of the 1980s. Kaiser seems to be expecting a massive stock correction as the market has again reached its peak. Kaiser goes on, the tweet in question states that now the top 10% of stocks in the market are the most concentrated since the Great Depression at 75%. The Kobesi letter points out that even in 2001 with the .com bubble peak, the concentration was lower, compromising approximately 72%. This is Max with that Kobesi letter there. I have retweeted it at Sean Clark 911. Before that financial crisis in 08, the tweet notes the concentration in the top 10 stocks, percentage of stocks, showed a smaller peak compared to what can now be observed, roughly 66%. On average, the top 10% stocks reflect 64% of the entire stock market, the tweet says, suggesting a correction may be coming. Based on this, Kaiser made a bold prediction that Bitcoin will profit from the stock market crash by soaring past 500K. Expects the stock market to crash similar to the way it did in 1987. And that's how he wraps up. Bitcoin in the US will be confiscated by the US government, Kaiser believes, both from spot ETFs that have been trading since Jan 11 and from local miners as well. We'll talk about this. It's huge. Gold will continue to lose value against Bitcoin. Funds will go from gold into Bitcoin. A few days ago, Kaiser already shared that investors had started withdrawal money from gold ETFs and send it to spot Bitcoin ETFs. Thus, Bitcoin is demonetizing gold. Kaiser emphasis. Could we have a 6102? Could the US government take the Bitcoin and the ETFs? 100% possible. Unlikely at this stage in the cycle. It is very unlikely. Larry Fink, I do not believe, would allow that, and a hit to his business model. In case it does happen, though, I have paired up with the Bitcoin Way. Just a real quick shout out to today's sponsor. If you still have Bitcoin on the exchange, you can reach out to these guys. They can take your security to the next level. Safedina Moose, the author of the Bitcoin standard endorses the Bitcoin way. They can help you set up cold storage, run your own node, keeping your Bitcoin private, planning for the future, using multi-sig, and so much more. The team, they'll never ever touch your keys or your private keys or your coins. They can help take your Bitcoin security to the next level. I use these guys myself. Reach out to the team or Tony at the Bitcoin Way. Made it super easy. There is a link below. Shout out to everyone in the live chat this morning. It is good to see you. We've got $114 trillion catalyst that we need to get into. But first, the numbers. Halving countdown, roughly about 53 days away. We do have a 420 on watcher.guru. It can change a little bit here, so we'll bring up the numbers here in the background. We are at block height 832,020 sats per USD. This number just keeps going down, hey. We're at 19,034. The exchange rate 51,717. Has gone up a little bit 2 days since we've woken up, and we are having that nice big green button. It's obviously just hit. Bitcoin is going up a little bit at the moment. Very exciting. Whether it's green, whether it's red, obviously not financial advice. Push the big green button. Make your future proud. This time is ticking. $500,000 is in play. Yes, we don't know when it will happen. But Bitcoin, it's just pure math. It's only a matter of time. So we need to be here to make the most of it. Now, jumping in to this huge catalyst here. The ETF CEO reveals a massive $114 trillion Wall Street bombshell is quietly headed for the Bitcoin price. What are these guys talking about? If we scroll down here, and we have lost all the highlights. Basically, what they're talking about is Carson Group, an Omaha-based registered investment advisor platform, has this week approved 4 of the 10 new spot Bitcoin ETFs, Greenlight and the BlackRock Fidelity Bitwise Franklin spot Bitcoin ETF, onto its $30 billion platform. We feel it is important to offer these products as a result from 2 of the largest asset managers in the industry, talking about BlackRock and Fidelity. Bitwise and Franklin Templeton have committed to being the lowest cost providers in the space, and have also seen large inflows in trading volumes. So IRA platforms that manage $114.1 trillion in assets, according to the Investment Advisor Association's 23 snapshot, they're being prized open to admit Bitcoin and crypto into what could be a huge catalyst for fund growth, according to Hunter Horsley. Hunter Horsley is the CEO of Bitwise. We did have the CIO, Matt Hogan, on the show just after they'd launched the Bitcoin ETF about a week later. That's a pretty cool interview. If you haven't seen that already, there is that picture of Matt Hogan and Bitwise there in the title. If we flip back over half of US wealth is part of the platform and can only use a product once it's approved, Horsley told Bloomberg. This has been opened up. The gates are unleashed. Maybe we need to see new all-time highs first before they start FOMOing in. But we are going to see this FOMO on, we call it super, but RIA level, your retirement platforms are going to start allocating, even if it's only 1% heading towards Bitcoin. That is going to be a massive catalyst. Even last week, Bitcoin ETFs topped $2.4 billion with BlackRock's IBIT and Fidelity FBDC raking in the lion's share, according to CoinShare. Year-to-date inflows to crypto funds have rocked above $5.2 billion thanks to Bitcoin ETF hype. That's just for those 2. The heightened demand means major players like Grayscale are buying more Bitcoin, and this is incorrect. In regards to Grayscale, we're going to jump into them. Their outflows have slowed down, but they're not going net positive at the minute, in turn causing its price to surge. ETFs have also meant that a new wave of Bitcoin investors have entered the market that may have been cautious previously, further driving demand. Unfortunately, not everyone is going to buy Bitcoin, put it in cold storage. If you need help, you can reach out to the Bitcoin Way today. But make sure you hold your seed on paper minimum when you start off. That's a good place to start, a solid foundation. If we have a 6102 event and Bitcoin price does go to $500,000, you don't want it to be subject to government intervention by any means. Now, we've got a couple more things to get onto. Nakamoto. This is crazy. So obviously Craig Wright versus Copa is happening at the moment. It looks like Craig is no longer Satoshi. I'd love you to tell me in the comments if you believe Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto. If Ninja Man is Satoshi, because he's got a sword, I think he has to be Satoshi Nakamoto. It just makes absolute perfect clairvoyant sense to me that Craig Wright is the mystical Satoshi Nakamoto. Hit me up in the live chat or in the comments after the video and let me know. But these trove of emails have been released as part of the London court case brought by Copa against Craig Wright, who has for years claimed without proof to be Satoshi Nakamoto, are made up of messages between Satoshi Nakamoto and crypto pioneer Adam Back, and separately to early Bitcoin code contributor Marty Melmy. Now, Marty Melmy has released like 114 or 112 page document there on X. I have retweeted it for everyone. I'm going to be going through that today. Might even print it out. The exchanges between Satoshi Nakamoto and Melmy, and I believe all of Adam Back's emails have been saved as well. I don't know if they've been published, but how fascinating to go all the way back to the early days of Bitcoin, to be able to read those emails before this thing even started and just after it started. I've just finished the Genesis book, and it's why it's so important to read the books or eat the bugs. Bitcoin Evangelism, I'll show you shortly, I believe, but I did make it into Brian's next book. So Brian Demons, the author of Bitcoin Evangelism, he's got a new book called Parallel coming out on the halving. It's dropping, but he put that quote, read the books or eat the bugs, in his new book. I'm super stoked about that. It was pretty awesome to see yesterday, and hopefully I get a signed copy of it. Anyway, it's a super good book. It is the second link in the description. But to read anything about Bitcoin's history, how it's implemented, it's what I enjoy the most. And I've just finished the Genesis book, Bitcoin Evangelism, Genesis book, Beers for Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Standard, the Fiat Stand. Please read the books. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than reading a good book. This one is, let's see if we can get it zoomed in. Nope. Anyway, going on. Adam Back's complete email history with Satoshi Nakamoto was entered in the courts today. Destroyed, in my opinion. Oh yeah, I forgot to perpetuate the lie. McLovin Blue Smile, and let's get this comment section up and just have a quick look what you have to say about Craig Wright being Satoshi here. Adam Back isn't the emails during Craig's court case prove he is not Satoshi. Forgot to perpetuate the lie. Adam Back isn't the emails. Yes, and we do pay taxes. Why don't they just print their own money and pay themselves? Adam Back is Satoshi. Let's go. We all go to the fiat mines Monday through Friday. Yep, all fiat is a ship coin. I just spent $50 on a couple of items at the grocery store. I would say prices keep going up, but it's the dollar that keeps going down. That's why Bitcoin is going to win. And it is winning now. Over any 4-year period, your purchasing power in Bitcoin, we all know it. Well, if you haven't been here for long, just buy Bitcoin and hold it for at least 4 years. Expand your time horizon out to 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but at least just start with the intention of holding it for 4 years, and then things will get cheaper. Everyone should be in full FOMO, as they should, but people are not going to wake up until we're at $69,000, the number of the universe, is when people are all going to get excited. When we get a big 69 in the house at 51,000, it's still cheap, 19,000 Satoshis per $10,000. Anyway, Pete Rizzo, editor at Bitcoin Magazine, the self-described Bitcoin historian, posted text alongside an image of an email showing their pair discussing Bitcoin a few months before its launch. Satoshi Nakamoto's earliest collaborator, Marty Cyrus Melmy, let's just go with Cyrus, just released their entire email history. Awesome. It contains the Adam Back emails as well. It's going to be such a fascinating read. Rizzo posted along with images of the email 120 pages. It's the most significant addition to the archives of Bitcoin's unknown inventor. That is so exciting. That's a little bit of history that's just been released. Yeah, into the world. The story of Bitcoin, everything about it is just absolutely so fascinating. Right after orchestrating an elaborate but unconvincing demonstration in 2016 that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, has spent years, and this is what's so sad and insidious about it, that people have been telling the world that he's not Satoshi Nakamoto, and this guy is using the rule of law to really hurt them financially and waste their time. And it looks like it's all been for nothing on Craig's part. Anyway, has spent years dragging naysayers through the courts in a largely unsuccessful attempt to legally be recognized as Bitcoin's creator. Judging by the chat there, I don't believe that you believe that Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto. This is a fun little video here. Let's bring it up and play it. It's not that bullish, but it's pretty interesting. The lady here, anyway, we'll see it, but she fires back quite a bit. That's good enough.
Now, if you actually think it's undervalued by that extent?
Well, you know, we think the best approach for most people is just to put 1% or 2%.
Are you saying that? I get that if you're somebody who's got a lot of assets. I still think it's crazy, but for a retail investor, somebody who's saving for retirement and putting that aside, that seems crazy to me.
Well, it's basically the idea that, you know, you can afford to lose 1% if that's 1% of your portfolio.
That's crazy. You might as well throw it away on high fees to an investor, to an average. Like this, you're taking a flyer on that. You don't know where it's going to go or what's going to happen.
Well, in a way, that's right, Becky, that for the majority of people, it's, you know, 1% is like a small risk bet. But, you know, Bitcoin makes all of its gains in 10 days in a year. I think this is an example that, you know, if you exclude the 10 best days, Bitcoin loses 25% a year. So you got to essentially hold it or hodl it, as they say, to really capture the gains.
You better capture it or you better let it slip. So 10 days we have per year to make the most of Bitcoin's upside. This really is about stack and chill and relax. Catch up with the news. We've got a couple more things to get through. I just want to shout out and ask if everyone could smash the like button down below. Truly helps get it out. 10 days. But Becky pushing back over a simple 1% allocation. It's so insane because that 1% is probably going to outperform the other 99% given enough time, or at least 50% of what's in there. 1% is absolutely nothing. For infinite upside, very limited downside. The downside of Bitcoin, $0 from 51. The upside, 500,000, a million. Keep going. Jeff Booth was talking about a $43 million Bitcoin, and we talked about that last week. And people are afraid to put in, like we really are this early, people are afraid to put in that 1%. So well done, everyone, for being here on this awesome adventure. Bitcoin's just pure energy. We're traveling through time and space. We are just made up of pure energy. It is probably the most aligned invention in the history of humanity that's as truthful as it can be for the exchange and the interaction between human beings, and to be able to store our time, our energy in a mathematical store of value. It's pretty impressive. Everything about Bitcoin's pretty impressive. So Grayscale outflows, they are slowing down. It looks like I got a little bit of a lag on the camera. We'll sort that out tomorrow. Slowing down with the lowest volume recorded since its debut. Now, recent data from BitMEX Research reveals that Grayscale Investment, a key player in the market, saw the outflow from its spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, dubbed GBTC, hit a striking low on Friday, dipping to just 44 million, marking a notably welcome downturn since January 11. Finally, well done, everyone. GBTC, there's slowing down. Are we going to have some days where they dump a whole lot more? 100%. I'd expect it up, down, and sideways. Those $10,000, $20,000 days. When we get into the downside, a lot's going to come from GBTC. People are going to cash out, may get a dip, and they may move those funds into something, who knows, if they're trying to trade the market. Now, the question with the ETF is, are these people that are buying in now, are they here to hold Bitcoin, or are they here to trade Bitcoin? They're just number go up? I think it's probably about 50-50. Maybe a few more people over time will realize they just need to hold Bitcoin. I think they're going to come in for the number go up. It's going to go up 10%. They're like, whoa, I've just made so much money. They're going to sell out, and it's going to take it a little bit longer, but it may take out a little bit of that volatility. Then we're going to get to a moment where Bitcoin just has been failing to get up like we have been with the 53,000. Eventually, it's just going to blow past and melt faces. That's what I believe is coming for the yellow or the orange coin. Max Kaiser started with an idea, then a plan was formulated, then the plan was implemented. Incredible focus and determination was required. This is what leaders do. The world has one true leader, President Nayib Bukele. Now, I'll bring up his tweet in a second, but what I find so fascinating about this is the guy's probably done the best job in the world, and I don't know what it's like to live here, just from an outsider's perspective. What Nayib Bukele has done in El Salvador is pretty remarkable, from the murder capital of the world to the safest place in the Western Hemisphere, on a Bitcoin standard as well. And the Bitcoin adoption may take a little bit longer to really play out, but it's worked really well for their treasury long term. Well, even short term, but long term, it's going to work out greater and greater and greater. And it's amazing when someone's aligned with truth and they choose truth money. I just thought that was a little bit of food for thought. So Nayib, from being the most dangerous country in the world to the safest in the Western Hemisphere, well done. That's being on a Bitcoin standard. Now, market cap, we're over 1 trillion at $1.012 trillion. We'll hit refresh. We'll have a look at the charts. The highs and the lows, 51,688. Let's just see if we've got the same price here. No, 51,800. So it's somewhere between 51,700 and 51,800 at the moment. A high, 52,814, with the lower 50,600. $2,200 price move in the last 24 hours. Really just a little bit of sideways chop at the moment. We have trended up a little bit. Last 7 days we're down. Last 1 month we are up massively. And this is about not missing those 10 days a year. You are here for it. And we haven't had all those days this year. So if you're just getting in, maybe it's a good time. Let's get rid of the ship coins in the background. Maybe it's a good time to buy some just in case it catches on. You do you. 1 month it's looking good, 3 months and 1 year it's probably going to look pretty nice. If we go out even, this is looking pretty good. Hey, we're not really that far from the old all-time highs. Texas here is having a win. Blockchain Council and Wright secure a win against the US energy officials. This is so good. Got into a little bit of a debate with some idiots on X, some people, and they started to ask better questions, but they were funning Bitcoin miners, saying they should provide all this information. They shouldn't. Nobody should have to do anything else that nobody else is doing. They can't just target a minority or an institution that's using electricity because they're not happy with what they're doing in their data centers. That's unfair, that's uncouth, and that's not how progress is made. So the Texas Blockchain Council and Bitcoin mining firm Wright platforms have won a favorable ruling with the US district judge in a lawsuit against several US energy officials. Let's go. February 22nd, Cointelegraph reported that TBC and Wright alleged the US Department of Energy Information Administration, the EIA, the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, and their respective leadership sought invasive data collection from cryptocurrency miners. According to the Feb 23 filing in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas, the TBC and Wright convinced the judge that irreversible harm would happen without a temporary restraining order against further data collection. So as a result, the court enforced a TRO that prohibits the EIA, TRO, EIA, TBC, so many three-letter words here, agencies. Anyway, from requiring crypto miners to respond to the survey, as well as prohibiting the EIA from sharing any data that has already been received from the survey. Point of the story is we won. The courts find that plaintiffs has shown through a verified complaint supporting evidence that immediate and irreparable injury, loss or damage will result if a TRO is not issued. Lucky we have such great advocates supporting the Bitcoin community, fighting for what is fair, aligned with truth. Bitcoin is unstoppable. We are winning, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. That's the news with the fast facts. Now, jump into the comments, a little bit of a banter. Shout out to everyone watching. McLovin, Raven, Knoxville, Raven, Gargoyle, McLovin there. Bitcoin is the best store of value with minimal risk. I strongly believe it's gradually absorbed gold, real estate, and other assets over the next decade. Bitcoin is truly eating the world. 100% agree there. Gargoyle, yeah, but there are totalitarian states. Now, this is Gargoyle here. Raven, sold my truck to buy half of Bitcoin last week. Let's go. Knoxville, 51K is cheap. Shout out to everyone watching. If you haven't already, smash that like button, humble the like button, tap the like button, whatever it is. If you can help, it's one favor that I ask and greatly appreciate there, everyone. McLovin, Andrew Sorkin was being a stupid clown on here. Is he being controlled? Was that from last week, that email? VIP bartender, cheers, mate. You're so right when you say you're not bullish enough. Stack and chill. Satoshi Random use British terms in an email like bloody, but in Australia we say bloody as well, like bloody hell, bloody heck. And Len spent time in England and was known to use British terms. Also, Satoshi's activity lines up with England's time zones. Very interesting. Becky is a Buffett and Munger shill. 1% is crazy. It's ridiculous, hey? And then you tell them about your portfolio. I think they'd have a heart attack. I reckon it was hell. Rest in peace. Johnny Midas, greetings from California, Sean. How is it? Is it getting a little bit warmer now? Is it still cold? Satoshi is either Hell Finney or Len. This is Raven in the house. If Wright actually cared about why we need Bitcoin, he would ST. If you 100% agree, everything that's coming out of Craig's mouth does not indicate that Craig in any means is Satoshi. Obviously, time will tell, but like what would happen? Say he did win. Are we really going to take that? How is he even going to win? He's been absolutely decimated. Sure, the courts are going to rule that he's been arbitrary and capricious. I love how the courts are using that word in relation. They did it with Wright and the Bitcoin Council as well in their favor, saying that the EIA was being arbitrary and capricious with their filing. Would AI be allowed to compare all these new emails for a suspect? Well, the emails are out there now. Anyone can write a script and get AI to go through it. I'm sure it's going to happen. I think it didn't need a court case. Wright's vibe alone tells you he's not Satoshi. Elaine, shout out. Carl Harris. Raven Gargoyle, McLovin Knoxville, McLovin, Skip Weaver, Adam Back is Satoshi. Adam Back too, I believe, is Satoshi as well, or Hal Finney. Either way, it doesn't really matter. We all go to the Fiat Mines Monday through Thursday. If you haven't already, hit subscribe if you vibe. We will give you the news with the fast facts Monday to Friday. Do something nice. Have a beautiful day. Be blessed. Peace.